Welcome to YOSHITAKE. Thank you for watching this video. This video will describe about safety valve, type of safety valve, operation, about full hole type and lift type, application example, fast to check when selecting and ordering. About safety valve and safety relief valve, it prevents building up or internal excessive pressure. There are three types of safety valve. Safety valve, it has full hole type and lift type. The second one is relief valve, it has lift type. The third one is safety relief valve, it has lift type as well. I will explain the type of safety valve in details on the next slide. Type of safety valve. Safety valve and safety relief valve are used for safety. They are designed to immediately release pressure in the event of an emergency or system failure. The function is rapid pop open action. For safety valve, it can use for steam and air. For the application, it can use for boiler, after pressure reducing valve, and pressure vessel. It has full hole type and lift type. For safety relief valve, it can use for steam, air, and liquid. For the application, it can use for boiler, after pressure reducing valve, pressure vessel, and pump system. It has lift type. Relief valve. Relief valves are designed to control pressure in a system, most often in liquid. They open gradually. It can use for pump system. It has lift type. Valve with open bonnet, structure in which a part of blow-off fluid is discharged from other than outlet. It can use for steam, air, and non-corrosive gas. Valve with lever is often specified. Valve with closed bonnet, structure in which a part of blow-off fluid is not discharged from other than outlet. It can use for gas or liquid application. Closed or seat-type lever is specified. This time, we will look at the structure operation using the steam safety valve AL115 as an example. First of all, as for the structure, here is the adjusting screw, and here is valve, and here is the adjusting spring. By tightening the adjusting screw, this adjusting spring is contracted and the valve is pressed down and close to the set pressure. For this time, the set pressure of safety valve is 1.0 megapascal. From the inlet, here the steam flows in. When it flows, 97% of the set pressure here is 0.97 megapascal, and then steam will follow here in accumulating chamber. When the pressure became high and it reached to this set pressure 1.0 megapascal, it happens rapid opening by increased opening force due to the pressure accumulation in the accumulating chamber, so the fluid blows out to the outlet side at once. This is the operation of safety valve. In the next slide, I will explain each term along the flow of operation. This is the safety valve operation figure. The vertical axis here is the blow-off volume lift amount. That is, the valve move up and down. The horizontal axis describes the pressure force. The inlet pressure rise. The inlet pressure as safety valve starts to discharge and outflow of an extremely small amount of fluids is detected at the outlet. Generally, start to discharge pressure is set pressure for gas. When the pressure becomes increased and take the action of discharging fluid inside the valve as an opening pressure due to the sudden rise of the valve disc. The set pressure is the pressure at which the safety valve becomes to open. The lift of the safety valve becomes maximized. It is the pressure at which the maximum flow rate of safety valve, which is the sum of the set pressure and the allowable overpressure. After that, the inlet pressure fallen down to the level at which the valve disc and valve seats are in contact and the lift becomes zero. It is called closing pressure or resisting pressure. The blowdown means the difference between opening pressure or start to discharge pressure and the closing pressure. This page will explain about full bowl type and lift type. This is the throat area. Lift means the distance from the valve seat to valve in open position. Full bowl safety valve is a valve that the flow passage area of valve seat and valve is bigger than the throat area at the inlet side. The lift type safety valve is a valve with a small lift amount. This is the difference between full bore type and lift type. Full bore type, it has large lift amount, large rate of flowing capacity, large discharge sound, and the price is also expensive when compared with lift type safety valve. This is the application of safety valve. It can be used for fluids such as steam and gas application. The application is for overpressure protection of boiler and downstream of pressure reducing valve. This is the example of usage of full bore safety valve, AF5 for steam boiler. This is the application of lift type safety valve. It can use for steam and air piping, pressure buzzer, and the outlet size of pressure reducing valve as a safety device. The set pressure of safety relief valve is 0.2 megapascal. The setting pressure of pressure reducing valve is correspond to the range of 0.11 to 0.4 megapascal. So the setting pressure of safety relief valve is 0.28 megapascal. Suppose that the pressure reducing valve happen malfunctions and the secondary pressure rises to 0.28 megapascal. When that happens, the safety valve operates and acts as an alarm. This is the application of relief valve. for continuous flow out of the hot and cold water piping as safety device or relief valve or outlet side of the pump. The fluid flowing from the tank sent to the equipment using the pump. The normal pressure at this time is 0.3 megapascal and the pressure of the relief valve is 0.4 megapascal. The relief valve is not working now. When the equipment is closed, the pressure is increased to 0.4 megapascal and the relief valve will operate and relieve excess pressure. It would be protecting a pump against an excessive pressure rise. This is the application of safety relief valve over pressure protection of pressure vessel. The set pressure of safety relief valve is 1.0 megapascal. The resistant pressure for pressure vessel is 1.0 megapascal. If a fluid with the pressure 1.0 megapascal flows here, the pressure will be 1.0 megapascal or more. If the set pressure of safety valve is too close to the pressure resistance of the pressure vessel, which may cause the pressure to exceed the pressure resistance. So, the set pressure should be less than the resistant pressure of pressure vessel. You have to check the following first when you are ordering and selecting the safety valve. You have to check the fluids. You will be used for steam or gas or hot and cold water. And also you have to check the usage. You will be used for boiler or pressure vessels because the calculation is different based on the usage. And also you have to check the blowout capacity considering the factor of safety. And also you have to check the set pressure and also connection, size, and material as well. That brings me to the end of presentation. Thank you for your attention. I hope you found this presentation useful.